Okay, we're going to have a go at populating this 20 channel high side switch PCB. Yeah, we got this one from PCBWay. It's very high quality. Yeah, by the way, it's always good in this particular project when it's going in an enclosure like this to have the PCBs in white, because white reflects the light. So if these PCBs were black, everything in the enclosure would look very dark and gloomy. It's much easier to see what you're doing with white PCBs. So we also have this PCB here, which I'm not going to populate today, which has relays on it, automotive relays. I just thought I'd mention that because they kind of go together. These are high side switches, ideal for like flashing beacons and hydraulic solenoid valves, and these would be used for controlling the engine, like glow plugs, the starter motor relay, and anything that requires up to 40 amps. So yeah, let's just put these away, and you can do these by hand, but since I've got a stencil it makes it a lot easier. So I'm just going to line that up. So it's actually relatively easy because the parts are massive compared to some of the stuff that you get. Dead easy to line it up. There we go, that's about right, I think. Put a bit of tape onto the corners. Got my squeegee and apply some nice fresh solder paste. It makes a difference how old it is. If it's really old, if it's been lying around for more than 6 months, it does actually go off. This stuff is still usable. It's not so critical on these because the components are so massive, but if you're doing something really fine like 0603 components, then fresh solder paste would be absolutely essential. So let's see how this goes. It's nice and clean, everything's clean. So I just keep going over it until I can see that all the holes are filled right up to the top. So the stencils themselves are of a particular thickness, designed to help apply the exact amount of solder. There are different thickness stencils as well, but I just use the default stainless steel. Nothing special about them, they're not even polished, I don't think. If you're doing something really fine, it might be different. That this one, really, it's dead easy. It should be anyway. The only problem that I think I've had is that the reflow oven wasn't able to get to the components right at the edges, but we'll see what happens. It's not the end of the world because like I said, we can do these by hand. Certainly can finish it off by hand. It's not difficult at all. So the PCBs were designed for a particular size of reflow oven, and these PCBs are the biggest I could make that fit into my oven. I think that's looking pretty good. You can't really get this wrong on this particular board. It's so easy, relatively speaking anyway. Just make sure there's plenty of solder there. You can't really overdo it. These pads here, even the small ones, are relatively speaking very far apart. There we go, I think that looks good. Let's take this off carefully. So when we take it off, we don't want to slide it. It's got to come off vertically like that. That's great. So normally I'd go and clean that straight away, but first of all I just want to inspect the application, make sure that everything's there. Doesn't look too bad. So I'm now ready to populate the board with the high side switches. Here they are. So I'm just going to take this tape off because it's going to be useful to slide this PCB around. So, as I thought, as I remembered, the reflow oven wasn't capable of soldering properly the components near the edges, and I don't know if you can see this one here on the edge here, it's not really soldered properly. So we can finish it by hand, which is no problem. Let's just look at some of the others for comparison. So the middle ones seem to be a lot better. Yeah, that middle one there is looks really nice and shiny and good. But yeah, no problem, we'll just put it back on the bench and go through each and every one of them by hand. Didn't want any errors. To get the tabs, I use this massive 450 watt soldering iron and get it nice and hot. It's got enough heat stored in the tip to get the whole tab hot. You can see it there, it's nice and runny. That should go all the way through quite happily. Let's carry on with this one. So just going to do all of them. Here we are, here's our board with the high side switches correctly soldered on. I'll just give it a bit of a scrub now with isopropyl. Bit of a wire brush just to get rid of any blobs of solder that might be lurking in there. We're going to test it with the continuity meter anyway. So now ready to attach some of these connectors. Fantastic Wago connectors, love them. So this is how I normally put them around.